Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Cloud-Based Mayhem. Got a lot of fun things to talk about before we get into this show with the great expeditioner, Antoine Girard. I don't know if that's even a word, but that's certainly what he does a lot of. We just wrapped up the X-Alps here in Idaho. It's the first hike and fly race that it's ever gone down here. We held it over in the Lost Rivers. King Mountain Glider Park was our base, which has become quite a thing the last few years. We've really seen a resurgence in that legendary place, and we brought a bunch of people over. We had the 3 different divisions like we do with the X-Rad Rocks down in Utah: Challenge, Adventure, and Pro. I got to race, which was unique because I don't get to do those in these kind of races, but it was a scavenger hunt where you go out and grab points. You can get them on the ground or in the air, put waypoints all over the place, and I have never seen the Big Lost in that zone session like it was. It was super inspiring. It was fun. The conditions were amazing. We've had the most incredible spring of flying over here in this neck of the woods I think I've ever seen in a lot of time here. So usually spring might be good, or May might be good for a couple days, and they're pretty rowdy and pretty sharp, and it's strong. But we've had, I think Matt Beechner set the out and back Idaho record during the comp, and anyway, it was a ton of fun. And what was kind of cool about it is we were waiting on Antoine Girard to come through. He started at the Mexico border and is heading up and basically finishing where Will Gadd and I started the Rockies Traverse at the north end of the Canadian Rockies chain. His route is very much the same as Will and I took, but he's going south to north. We went north to south, and all the U.S. pilots, and I'm sure pilots from around the world, have been tracking him with a lot of excitement. And he had a huge flight one day in Nevada, just about 300K, and he's got a supporter and a photographer with him, and so they were driving at times where it wasn't flyable. But now that he's gotten in here to Idaho, he got to my town here in Haley the last day of the X-Alps. It wasn't flyable that day. It was really windy and lots of OD, so I invited him to come over to the house and have dinner and hang out and get a sleep and a shower and all that, and meet his photographer, Rodolph, and we banged out a podcast to find out how it's been going. And I took questions from you, the audience, if you saw that post on Instagram. So some of you fired away some really good questions about his gear and mindset and how he prepares for these and a lot of other things. So when I knew Antoine, spent more time with him in the 2015 and 17 and 2019 X-Alps. Those were his last 3. He's done it 4 times. His first was in 2013. We talked quite a bit about the X-Alps in this show, but his English was pretty minimal, and it was kind of hard to communicate with him because my French is also nothing. But his English has gotten a lot better. He's been hanging out with Veso a lot over in Pakistan, and of course this trip, and so he was very articulate about all these things. And I've been wanting to get Antoine on the show for a long time, just because he is getting after it like no one else in the world, especially when it comes to just really deep, long lines. And I really wanted to talk to him about risk. You know, he's not totally a spring chicken anymore. He's 45, so he's closing in on what I am, and so I wanted to talk to him about all that, just how things change as you get older, and how he's funding it. I'm sure we got into that, but I was curious about that. We asked him about that, I think, outside of the show. But anyway, very interesting character, willing to take a ton of risk, and he's been having a lot of fun. So enjoy this talk with Antoine. And just before we get into it, I leave Sunday. I'll be gone by the time this goes out, but I'm heading out here in just a couple days to Austria to do my journalist gig and live stuff with the Red Bull X-Alps. So this will drop before the race starts, but wanted to just let you all know that we've got a new channel. It's a WhatsApp group that you can join in on. You'll find a link for it at redbullxalps.com, where we'll be putting in a lot of the behind the scenes stuff between Tarkman and I and some of the others on the team. Just what we're doing and why, and visiting with the teams. And so Tarquin and I will be live a couple times a day. I've got really bomber flying kit this time around and great microphones and stuff. So I think our live coverage, especially from the air, is going to be a lot better than it was last time. We've all got Starlinks too, because we were really struggling with connection last time, and Wi-Fi and cell data and stuff. So I think we got a lot of things covered. And so I'll be there a couple days before the prologue and just dial all that in. And then hopefully if it's flyable, the weather's not looking real great right now, but if it's flyable, I'll be flying the entire prologue with all the athletes and trying to bring you as much as we possibly can from a really intimate angle. So I'm sure you're like me, getting pretty excited for the world's coolest and toughest adventure race. This is the hardest course yet by far, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it all goes down. But enjoy this talk with Antoine, and we're going to try, we'll see how this works out, but I'm going to try to drop this one early to all of our subscribers, to everybody on Patreon and whoever subscribes through the website. And as always, all we ask for is $1 a show. And if you can't support the show, I just let me know, zip me an email, and I'll make you a subscriber for life. No questions asked. Maybe someday you can, but way less than a magazine subscription in a year, and hopefully a lot of content to make you all safer, have more fun. Thanks a lot for listening, and enjoy this talk with Antoine, and see you over in the Alps. Cheers. Antoine, welcome to Idaho.
Hello.
Hello. We just wrapped up the X-Alps, this little hike and fly race that I organized today, and I've been watching your live tracking since you started only about 10 days ago down at the border with Mexico. You've covered a lot of ground. And what are you calling this expedition? What's the name for this one?
I don't have a name. It's just I enjoy the trip, so
yeah.
I don't decide.
I mean, I know everybody on this side of the pond, we say that, on this side of the Atlantic, they've been very excited to see you play here in North America. You've been doing, I think you've had 4 seasons now, right, in Pakistan, and you did the X-Alps 4 times. You live in France, obviously, but what was the inspiration to come here, and what was the inspiration for this line? It's a big line.
Yes, it's a big line, but it's just I was in a lot of places in the world, and it's difficult to find a line, because if I want to go on a line, it will be a big line. If I don't have 800 or 1,000 kilometers, I don't move. I don't take a plane for that, because I would like to do only a big line. And now it's difficult to find a new one. So, but it's a long line. And I would like to enjoy the trip and the landscape and everything. And I don't know the North of America. So I decided to come this year to try this line. It's 3,000 kilometers.
In your background, I didn't know this until we were having dinner sitting here, but your background is climbing, mountaineering before flying?
Yes, before, at the beginning, I was a climber. I did a couple of years of climbing World Cup. Mm-hmm. After I climbed a lot in the mountain. I tried to climb for 8,000 meters. And after that, I do some paragliding.
Yeah. You said 2007 you started?
For paragliding, yes.
Yeah. We started about the same time then. I was asking you if this is dinner, so now I know the answer. But when I first started running across you, I watched, of course, the 2013 X-Alps, and I mean, I watched them before that too, but you and I raced together in 2015, 2017, 2019. But I heard a story then that you were flying 800 hours a year. Is that right?
Yes. For my, I think after 2009 and 10, I flew a lot. And yes, 800 hours per year, it's totally possible.
That's
maybe
amazing.
more.
That's a lot of hours. Was there a mission behind that kind of hours? And were you training for something? Because this was before X-Alps. Was this just you were just that passionate about it. You just wanted to.
Yes, at the beginning, just because in 2007 I began paragliding, and it was just down from the mountain. It's not for paragliding. And in 2009, I understand it's possible to do some big things with a glider, so I need to learn a lot. And at this moment, I decide to be not the best, but I would like to do my best to be strong with my glider. And I learn only alone, and not with a teacher, and it takes a long time to understand.
You were self-taught?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And this is in Valais.
What?
Where you live?
Close to Valence, yes. It's close to the Alps.
Okay. So you're mostly flying around home.
Yes.
At this point.
Exactly.
And when did you decide to do the 2013 race? And had you done other hike and fly races before then? Or?
Only one.
Okay.
In 2011, I did a race. The name is Air Tour in France.
Yeah.
And I won this Air Tour.
Oh.
And after that, it was my first competition. Just before I flew alone in my town, and it's just that. And I win this competition, and we have a lot of strong pilot. So I decided to apply for X-Alps 2 years after, because it was 2013. And I have a selection, and I did my first X-Alp in 2013.
When would you consider? What year would you consider? I mean, I know you still teach. You teach at university in computer science. And have you maintained that all these years, or have there been times where it's just been paragliding?
No, for me, the sport like climbing, like mountaineering, like paragliding, is not to have money, it's just to enjoy the life. So for me, I split both. But after 2014, I decided to work only half time in university and half time for paragliding.
Ah, okay. Those years of the X-Alps, were you also doing the stuff that you've been doing the last few years? These big expeditions, big lines. What was it? X-Alps 1 year and then the big lines in between?
Yes, exactly. Because at this moment I work with Adidas. It's my main sponsor at this moment.
Yeah.
And for them it was very important. I did all the X-Alps. So I decided to do 1 year X-Alps, 1 year a big expedition, another year X-Alps. And after that, I understand that the expedition is more important for them than the X-Alps. Because the X-Alps, you have a focus only for 1 month, but with a big expedition, you have a focus for 1 year, and you have a lot of view and everything. So they tell, okay, you can do only expedition.
Really?
Yes.
Are they still a big sponsor?
What?
Adidas? Are you still working with them?
No. I finished Adidas in 2019, I think, something like that.
Okay.
Because they stopped with a lot of athletes, because they changed the strategy and to push the Olympic sport, and it's why they stopped with paragliding.
Huh. Interesting. 2013, 2015 went really well for you. And then 2017 you had the crash.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you hurt your leg.
Yes, I break my knee.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier, that's still impacts you. That's been an ongoing problem.
It's difficult because because it was during the X-Alps. So I stopped the X-Alp in 2017, and in 2019 I try again the X-Alps. And I have to stop after, I don't remember, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, because I have a lot of pain in my knee, and it's difficult.
Yeah. How was did your approach shift from the first one? 2013 had amazing weather, but did it shift? And I guess what I'm saying is, after the first one, did you, I want to win, or how did things, in the first one we don't really know where we're going to be. And then how did your expectations change potentially?
When I arrived in 2013, I have no expectation. Just I go, it's an adventure, and I do my best, and I finish at I think third third.
Yeah.
And okay, I don't prepare and just I arrived and I finished third. Now I will come back and maybe I will try to win, to fight with Maurer, because I was third and we have 20 minutes with the second one. So we are very close, but Maurer have one day, arrived one day before us. So we are not in the same play. Yeah. But after that, I decided to have a training for that. And at this moment, it was not difficult because Maurer was totally alone. Yeah. He have a full training all the years. And for the other pilot like me, we trained just maybe 2 or 3 months before the X-Alps. And at this moment, I decided to push a lot and I have a lot of training for the next X-Alps. I trained maybe more than 1 year for that. But I was not alone. A lot of pilots did exactly the same. Right. And at the same moment, Maurer understand, a lot of pilots have a good progress, so I need to progress. And in 2015, he arrived with a lot of preparation and wow, it's another game. And also in 15, I think I finished 4 or something like that. Yeah, 4. But I finished 4, but in 2013, it was impossible to finish after the maybe 5 or 6 because after they are not that strong. Yeah. But in 2015, I finished 4, but maybe I can finish 20 because all the 20 first pilots are the same level. Yeah. So changed. The competition changed a lot. Yeah. And now it's possible to go at the X-Alps and finish at the last place or on the podium.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's gotten a lot faster and a lot more serious.
Oh, yes.
And everybody that's doing it is more serious. And I mean, I was in 2015 when at the week before, you could kind of look at the field and go, okay, maybe a third I don't have to worry about. And now you have to worry about everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're all pretty intense. I put out today, after the race, that when I learned you were here and Haley, that you were going to be staying at the house and I was going to have a chance to talk to you. So I put out, I just invited people to send in questions. So I'm going to ask you a few from just people who have been following this expedition across the states up to the Canadian border. Who or what inspires you to find and attempt the lines that you do?
I like to do a big line. And I work a lot with my computer to find a line where it's possible to connect everything. And if I find a line, just on the computer, I would like to try if it's possible or not. But before to come, I'm sure we have some difficult parts. Like maybe impossible. And in fact, it's like that. In the south, it's very, very difficult, until the valley of, Owens Valley. Yeah. Just to connect the Owens Valley is difficult. And also the second part from the north of Nevada to, Idaho. Yeah. It's very difficult also. Yeah. It's possible, but you need a perfect day and I can't wait 1 or 2 or 3 weeks just for that. I stay here maybe 1, 2 or 3 months and I can't wait 1 month, the good condition.
I think also it's a matter of the whole line. I was thinking about that today, really in Canada, what Will knew, and I learned doing that with him, is really August 15th. After that, it's kind of done. It's too far north. There's not enough sun height. It gets cold. It gets stable. So if you don't keep moving, you're moving, you've got plenty of time. You're moving very fast. But, part of it is if you waited 2 weeks, you're not going to be north early enough and you won't be able to do it.
But at the origin, I would like to start from the north to the south because I have more time for that. And it's most easy with the time because in August we can fly here or September also.
Sure.
But I change, because I have to start in May in Canada and maybe it's also too cold.
That's true.
And I have to start in June, but I would like to be free in August and September this year. So it was not possible.
When you started looking at this line, how much time goes into, you showed me your route on your phone. You've got it very detailed, but how much time do you spend on?
It's depending of the expedition. For example, for this one, it's easy because it's not a country. Well, a lot of pilots fly in this country, so I have a lot of track, and I have a lot of track on this way, so I think it's the best way. But for example, in Nevada, I don't have a lot of track. I check and we have like nothing. In the north of Nevada, we have nothing. So I have to study a lot with weather forecast. But the last 10 years, we can check with some weather forecast for the past and check when it's possible and how it's possible. And also, normally I travel alone. And if I travel alone, for example, in Nevada, we don't have a lot of water. So I have to find all the points where it's possible to find water, like the river, like sometimes a small city, sometimes a big lake, something like that. Because when you are alone, you can carry only 8 or 10 liters of water, and it's only 3 days. It's not a lot. And sometimes you land somewhere and you have to walk 3 days to find water.
Right.
But this year I'm not alone. I am with a friend. So it's easy. I have a car, and if I have a problem, you can come and,
So there's not you don't have rules or restrictions of this one. It's to have fun. It's not, you're not going to drive, or you're not going to, there's no.
No, I don't have rules, but I like to do everything myself. So, for example, I land sometime in Nevada, far away of two mountains. So I have to walk 10 or 15 kilometers, and I walk alone, and I have my friend close to me, and I take my bag because, I can do that. And normally I have to fly, and it's possible to connect. Yeah. But for example, the part from the north to Nevada to Idaho, for me, it's not possible to fly. And walk, it's 150 kilometers, something like that, maybe 200 kilometers. It's far away, and no, I don't walk this part because it's like not possible to connect. So
well, you also, your leg is an issue, you were saying too. I mean, you can't just walk days after day.
I can walk. It's just for the X-Alps, for example, it's 10 or 15 hours per day. Yeah. If I walk for that, when it's hot and everything, I walk only 6 or 8 hours per day. So, with McNee, it's possible.
Okay. So you can do it if it,
yes, I can walk a lot, but just for the X-Alps is too intense.
Okay. A guy named Evan Garcia, who's been flying some amazing lines up in the Northwest. He asked me to ask you, you seem to keep finding yourself at the right place at the right time. You had that 300K flight in Nevada. Is this serendipity? In other words, is it luck, or is it planned?
Normally, it's only when I'm lucky, but this time not, because I understand the south of this trip is difficult to fly. So I decide to stop and go directly to Owens to have this flight, because we see on the forecast, Saturday and Sunday will be good. So I have to be in the valley.
Yeah. I mean, the weather, just as a local, I've been here for a long time. The weather this week we've all been commenting, we've never had weather like this in May. Just day after day of good. It's been really good. Really good for flying spring. Spring here can be pretty rough. Your first two, I think you've done Pakistan 4 times, right?
More, I think. 6 or something.
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
Okay.
Maybe more.
Okay. There's a lot of them. Your first 2 were just kind of, I mean, if I have that right, just unbelievable what you were able to pull off in the glaciers and the mountaineering and everything else. I know the last couple of years you and Vesso have had some pretty awful weather. The things you've been able to pull off there, has it been more weather, or has it been more you willing to fly in pretty unreasonable wild conditions? We've seen your videos, your Instagram posts. You're very willing to fly in very non-recreational conditions. Would you say your success over there has been more weather dependent, or more you just
No, It's not only the weather. You need the weather like everywhere in the world,
Sure.
but it's not only that. It's just you have to go in a wild place, and you have to understand if you fly at this place, maybe you will land and walk maybe 10 days sometime. So if you don't accept this, you don't go. And a lot of people go and tell, I don't know, it's too commitment because maybe I will walk for a lot of days, and they stop. If you are, okay, I go, I know, maybe I will walk 10 days, it's the maximum, but normally it's 3 or 4 days, you can go everywhere. You accept this one, you can go. And when you go, you are totally free. Okay, I will try. And maybe you climb at 100 meters off the ground, and you are lucky, but it works. And if you are in the stress or something like that, you stop and you come back. So I think it's more, you have to go and test.
Yeah.
And it's sure because in 2021, I'm going in Pakistan with 6 other people, because a lot of people tell me, oh, you flow at 8,000 meters because you are lucky, because you are strong or something like that. And tell, no. It's just, I'm going because I understand how it works and how it's possible to do that also. And I'm going with 6 friends and 5 friends because we were 6. And 2 of these friends climb also at 8,000 meters. So it's not only me or only the weather. It's just because we go, we try, and we know how to do that. Because if we don't know, it's difficult. And I share my information. I share my knowledge. It works.
From an outside perspective, you know, your films, your posts, that kind of thing, I think most pilots would say he's willing to take a lot of risk, you know, fly in a lot of wind, and obviously X-Alps requires you to take a lot of risk. How do you see your own assessment of risk? And maybe how has it changed in the last 10 years from, you know, your first X-Alps in 2013 to now? What's that, 12 years later? You're 45, yeah?
40, yes,
45,
I'm 45. It's just, I think I take a lot of risk during the X-Alps. For all the X-Alps, it's crazy. And after each X-Alps, I'll tell, it's my last time because it's too commitment. And normally you arrived and you see another pilot and it's not for me. But another one arrived and take off. Okay, I have no choice. I have to go. And you take a lot of risk. When you are in expedition, it's your own choice. Okay, I have some risk. I don't have. Okay, I take this risk or I don't take. It's different for me. It's less commitment. I think I don't take a lot of big risk. Some risk, of course, like every day, like here, for example, sure. When I flew in the south or in Nevada, I take some small risk, but I was not like, I enjoy everything. And sometimes I stay 2 hours and I check my glider all the time. Okay, it's open. Oh, it's closed. Oh, it's like that in a lot of cases, but it's not a big risk.
You were saying, I think this will be surprising for some. You were saying earlier that traveling through this line you're doing in a lot of ways is quite a bit easier than other lines you've done, say maybe in the Andes or maybe Pakistan. I don't know. How would you compare it? How would you compare the remoteness or the nastiness of the flying or the difficulty compared to other places?
It's very difficult to explain because sometimes it's very difficult, like in Nevada, because you have a lake of mountain or something like that, but you have some road everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's not commitment with the flight. And sometimes, like in Peru or in South America, you have no road, you have nothing, but it's easy to fly. But if you don't fly, if you stay at the place because you broke your glider or I don't know, you are alone and you are very far away of everything. So it's difficult to compare because you don't have the same risk.
Tell me about your kit. What are you carrying?
In my
what do you carry? What is your kind of standard US on this expedition? What do you have in your bag?
In fact, I have two bags. No, I have one bag, but with two things inside because at this moment I'm with my friend. So I have a different bag and I know he will leave maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. And I will go alone in Canada and the north of America. Maybe I don't know where I will be in 3 weeks. So I have a lot of optional things with me in this moment. And after I will not, I will have just the minimum.
Okay. So now you're more just your flying kit because you have a friend and you're with him and you're not sleeping bag. And
I have everything.
Okay.
I have all the time because when I cross, for example, the Nevada, sometimes it's not possible to find a road, something like that. So I sleep in the mountain.
Okay.
So in all cases, I can stay every time 3 days in the mountain. Okay. Just for safety. Okay. So I have everything. Okay. But normally I go with 10 days of food, for example. And
10 days.
Yes, because it take a lot. Well, in USA, it's easy to find food, but in a lot of places, it's very difficult. So you have no choice to have minimum 10 days. And normally I have 2 days of just in case. So I have 12 days.
Wow.
And in USA, it's same, but not at this moment. But when I will be alone, I will have 10 days with me because if you have to stop to find a city to do some shopping and come back, you lose 1 or 2 days. So I don't want to do that. So I prefer to fly 10 or 12 days.
So you're having to find water, snow melt, rivers. You're having to, because you can't carry that kind of water. How much do you carry? 1 day of water, 2 days of water?
For the water, now I carry only 3 or 4 liter, but in Nevada, I carry all the time 7 liter. Yeah. And because I have Rodolphe close to me, so I know I have maximum to walk 1 or 2 days. But when I cross South America, in Chile, I have between 10 and 12 liter with me all the time because we have no road, we have nothing, we have to survive with the water.
Yeah, wow.
It's a lot.
Are you flying way overweight on your glider? Because as you chip down on the stuff, you get back down into the weight.
Yes. When you have 12 liter and 10 days of food, after 5 days, you lose a lot of weight.
What's in your food bag?
Only, I have 2 things only because I don't have a lot of volume. And for the weight also, and also for the energy, because if you take, for example, pasta, you need a lot of gas to, for the water.
Yeah.
And, now I use, like couscous. Yeah. Couscous, only couscous with soup inside, dry soup. And I can put hot water and also with cold water, it works also. So normally with one gas, I works for 15 days.
Okay.
So it's not a lot. And in the morning, I eat only muesli. And I eat only that.
So they're just carbs. You don't eat much protein or fat or?
No, I don't need more because, every 10, 12 days, I find somewhere to have some shopping. And at this moment, I eat some protein, some fat and everything.
Really?
And also, I don't stay more than 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
If I do that for more than 3 months, it can be dangerous.
Yeah. Wow.
But with 3 months, the body have enough energy to have compensation. So it works.
So just muesli and couscous or some kind of grain and grain.
Sometimes, really. Yes. But now since 2 years, I use also sometimes some dry meat.
Okay.
Just a bit every day, just
like salami or something?
More like beef, what is the name?
Beef jerky?
Beef jerky, for example, because it's light and I put a bit in the couscous and, but just a bit, but it's enough.
It sounds really boring.
Sure. but no, for sure. In expedition, I use 400 grams of food per day for everything.
Wow.
So for 10 days, I have 4 kilos.
Oh my God. How you operate.
It's not enough. So it's boring.
Yeah.
But when you have something to eat, you want to eat.
Yeah,
because
right.
it's like
Wow.
delicious.
Sounds like a Shackleton mission, man.
Yes,
Holy cow.
At each expedition, maybe not this one because I can eat a lot, but in my whole expedition, I lose between 8 and 10 kilo every time.
Really?
Yes.
Did you lose a lot of weight for the X-Alps?
No, for the X-Alps, I lose something like 4 or 6 kilo because
same.
during the X-Alps, you can eat a lot.
Sure.
It's easy.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'm going to go back to these questions that I got from some of the people that are following you along. I kind of asked you this, but what kind of time went into this route? How much time did you spend planning this one?
For one expedition, sometime I spent 1 year to prepare.
Really?
1 year at full time, like a job.
Yeah.
But for this one, it's an easy one, and I work only maybe 1 or 2 months because it's easy to have information. Just I call somebody, some email, or I have a lot of information, so it's easy. And also, I don't need a big logistic, because it's easy country.
Yeah.
Like in Europe, like that. So
roads everywhere.
Not a big preparation.
Yeah. Interesting. All these places you've been doing all these 6 times in Pakistan. It's amazing. And in the Andes, and you did the thing in Peru and Chile and here now. Do you have a favorite?
I think Pakistan for me is the best because you have a very big mountain and it's not easy to fly, but not difficult because for me, where it's very difficult to fly, it's Chile, in the middle of the Chile, not on the coast or something like that, but in the mountain, it's very difficult.
What makes it difficult?
Why?
What makes it difficult? The flying.
Yes, because you have a lot of breeze. You have to cross some valley and sometimes you have 70 kilometers of wind every day. So at the beginning, you don't know that. So you arrive and you are totally destroyed with your glider and you tell, I would like to stop because it's too dangerous. After you understand, you have to land just before the valley, wait in the morning. You have to cross very early in the morning and walk up and go at the next one.
A lot of local knowledge.
You have a lot of things like that. You don't have water, it's commitment and everything. It's why I tell it's very, very difficult. But Pakistan, it's commitment, but not because you have a risk. It's commitment because maybe you have to walk a lot. It's different. You don't lose the life. It's just you lose time or energy to come back. Yes, I like the big mountain. It's totally different of Nepal or India or everything because in Nepal it's beautiful because you have a lot of mountain and only one big is 8,000 meters, another one. But in Pakistan it's incredible. You arrive at one place, you have maybe 20 or more 7,000 peaks at the same place. You fly only with 7,000 meters everywhere. It's unbelievable.
Amazing. Yeah, the films have been just incredible. Here's a good one. Any mental models or exercises, in your mind that you do during these long expeditions to help combat various things that might come up, like loneliness, fatigue, the diet, just missing your girlfriend. You mentioned you had a girlfriend at home, the stress of it or the risk, maybe a series of days that are a lot of wind and fear. Is there anything that you have found really works for you during these trips that help maybe you either make good decisions or just help you stay kind of centered?
For me, the mental preparation is very, very important. It's a big part. And normally I work between 3 and 6 months before the expedition. And I use a lot this preparation because if now I have a normal life and I decide tomorrow to do this expedition, for me, it will be totally impossible. because you are far away of your family or your friend. You are not ready, and it can be turbulent. And if it's turbulent, I'm afraid I would like to stop and everything. But if I have a mental preparation during 6 months, I imagine every night per night, just before to sleep, imagine 1 second of this expedition. How will be the Nevada, for example? Okay, it will be very windy. It will be with big thermal. Okay, if I have big thermal, I have to do that. And I have a preparation. It will be strong, for example. And when it's arrived, it's more easy because you are already prepared. And also, I use a lot this part because for USA, it's most easy. But for example, if I prepare the one expedition in Pakistan, imagine, okay, I'm in Pakistan. Now I have a thunderstorm, but I'm not in the fly. I'm on the ground and I break my tent. How I can repair my tent? And I tell, okay, if I break my tent, I can't repair. I can survive or not? If I can't survive, okay, I understand. I have to take with me something to repair my tent because if I break my tent, I will be dead. So I decide for everything. I decide what is mandatory or not mandatory to have with me for survive. So this preparation helped me to decide what I take in my bag.
So it sounds like you're doing a lot of visualization for the future. So you're imagining everything.
All case, if I can.
And you're running through all the possible cases where it could go wrong.
Exactly. And when it's arrived, because sometimes it's arrived, you know how you have to react.
Right.
Because you imagine a lot. Okay, if I take the example of the tent, okay, remember I take some special teacher for that, and okay, I will find in my bag, and it's easy. You are not in the stress or in panic, something like that. It's why for me it's very, very important.
Will Gadd has this saying that, many people, we've both got a glass of water here that's about half full, so I can use this, but many people will look at a glass of water and see a glass that's half full. He sees a glass and he thinks, what's going to break the fucking glass? He's looking for what's going to go wrong. What can possibly happen here that's not going to play out like we think it is? In other words, don't be an optimist. Look at the situation and what's going to kill me, because mountains are trying to kill us. They're not friendly places. They're trying to kill us. So I always like that one, that if you're always looking for what's going to go wrong, then you've got a better chance of surviving.
Sure.
Sounds like that's what you do.
Yes, it's similar.
Interesting. Back to my question about, from an outside perspective, I think the general flying world who follows what you're doing, they see someone who's crazy. He's just crazy. How do you assess your own? How do you think you're more crazy, or do you think what you're doing is pretty? You're safe?
No, I think it's not safe and it's not really. It's for me, it's an average because I work a lot on all my projects. It's not a lot of people thinks, okay, I go in Pakistan and okay, I flew at 8,000 because I'm lucky, something like that. But in fact, I prepare 1 year before, and a lot. It's not like a joke. A lot of people who are close to me, they see me a lot with my computer and write a lot of things and works for 1 year. Sometimes, I don't work 1 year on one project. It's, I work 1 year during 5 years or 6 years. And when it's ready, I go. I don't tell, okay, next year I will go. I will go only when it's ready and I'm totally prepared and, it's finished. No, I think, I did some expedition since now it's 30 years. Yes, 30 years. I'm still alive and I did a lot of commitment expedition. Yes, a lot of time I had some luck, like a lot of people, but, sure. I think I'm still alive because I work a lot of my project. It's not only the luck.
You've had a rough couple years with that. You've lost, your buddy in Pakistan last year, and then down in South America. It sounds like both of them were not really, you weren't with the person at the time, so maybe you don't know exactly what happened, but did that impact you? Was that
a lot?
Yeah.
For me, it's very difficult because when I go in expedition with a friend, for me in my head, it's like I'm a responsible because I have a lot of experience, and my friend I have less experience because I did a lot of expeditions. It's a long time. So if I have an accident in my expedition, I think I'm responsible. So it's impacted me a lot. And it's why here, for example, in USA, I come alone to fly, because at this moment, it's, I lose my friend 3 years ago now. I'm not ready to go alone with one friend. The last 3 expedition, it was only with a team and not with only one friend. Because with a team is different because everybody have to check everybody. For me, in my head, it's like I'm less responsible.
Okay.
But for the moment, it's not possible to go with only one friend.
Do you have a preference? Going alone or going as a team or going with one friend?
I prefer to go only with one friend because you share a lot of things. It's very interesting. With a team, it's also fun. And alone, it's a different expedition because, when I go alone, it's only when I'm not sure at 100% it's possible or it's safe. If, I know maybe you have 20% of chance of, maybe it's not possible to come back because it's dangerous, I will go alone for sure. When I'm sure at 100%, I go with a friend. Because if you go with a friend and you are not sure at 100%, when you are where it's difficult, you think about your friend and you are not totally in your head and you can't react exactly how you have to do the things. So I prefer to be alone for safety also.
The 800 hours a year for all those years, and all the training for the X-Alps, and you've been at this a while now, and at it really at a high level and a hard level. How have you maintained the passion for it? How have you maintained the drive?
For me, it's only for the expedition because if I progress, I can do another expedition more difficult, more big, more beautiful. I don't know. In Pakistan, I'm going a lot of time because at the beginning, I discovered the Pakistan and I saw the possibility. It's like a line. I have to progress to arrive at this level and to do everything. At this moment, I think I will go maybe for the last time next summer in Pakistan to finish all my projects. I will come back for sure, but not for big project. Just to enjoy the Pakistan, because I'm at the end of my possibility of progression.
Okay.
So in Pakistan, after we have the other project everywhere in the world, but in Pakistan, I'm at the last step. So I will see.
Do you have any? You said you have a lot of these planned out, but what's something that, I mean, right now I'm sure you're excited about what you're doing, but what's something that's in the future that you've been planning for a while?
It's difficult to say because I did a lot of things everywhere in the world. Now I would like maybe share all my experience with some people. I like to share. It's why in 2021, I'm going with 5 friends to fly at 8,000 because I like to share. And when I see my friend to climb at 8,000, I'm so happy because I have to share my experience. So yes, it's good. And I like to do that. And I would like to share maybe with my girlfriend or,
and she's a pilot.
Yes.
Yeah. A good pilot, you said.
Good. Yes.
That's awesome. Did you meet through flying?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes, I don't know, but I do not want to go more in performance. It's like this project. It's not a performance. It's just to enjoy the life, the trip and everything. And I think in the future, it will be more like that, to enjoy the place. And maybe I will repeat some other expedition of other pilot and not to be the first to do something. It's not a goal. But sometimes if you want to do something, nobody did that before. You have to be the first. But I like to enjoy only.
Yeah. This is an impossible question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. When you think back to the last since 2007, is there a flight that just defines why you do this? Is there we've all had a flight that's just, wow, that was really special. I know there's dozens and dozens, but is there one that, like, when I ask that question, is there one that pops in your mind?
No, I don't have one. It's just a memory sometime when I did my first solo expedition in Pakistan. I arrived in the mountain and I flew a bit, like 2 or 3 days, and I was blocked at one point because I have bad weather for I don't remember, 4 days, something like that. And I was in my tent and tell why I'm here. I'm alone. I'm afraid. I'm in Pakistan. I don't know if it's possible to fly in Pakistan because at this moment not a lot of pilots flew there. And wow, what I do. And after this moment, I tell maybe I will stop, but it's too early. I have to test 1 or 2 days more. And after the first flight, it's only maybe 70 kilometers. It's a short flight, but I enjoy everything, the flight, the landscape and everything. Oh, I know why I'm here. But it's not the best flight. It's just, I understand. I love to fly and discover a new place, and I continue every time after that. It's just like a déclic. Okay, it's like that.
Right.
I love and I know why.
Yeah.
It's not a flight. Only one.
Yeah. One of the things that I have found so compelling about expeditions is the simplicity, in a sense, that there's nothing else happening. When you're really fully engaged in a mission, in completing something or just doing something that intense, it's really simple. You're just trying to survive. There's no outward distractions. There's no girlfriend. There's not this other stuff. At least for me, it doesn't really make an impact. It's not a big deal.
Yes, but I love that.
Yes.
To go alone somewhere.
That's what I mean.
You think you have 2 or 3 things to things. It's like where I can find water, food, and where is the next thermal or the next landing place. And you forgot everything in the life, all your problem or everything. And I tell all the time the same things at my girlfriend when I go far away. Okay, I will go maybe for 2 months. But for me, in my head, it's like today.
Yeah.
It's very short because I'm focused and I come back. Maybe for you, it's 2 months, but for me, it's only 2 days. So when you come back, we are not at the same level. For me, it's like, oh, I'm going yesterday, I come back. But for my girlfriend, I have to go slowly and speak and do everything. It's different.
Do you find it really hard to come back?
Yes. Because when you are in expedition, another time, like not like here, but when you are far away in South America, something like that, or Pakistan, all the day you think only how I can eat, drink, survive only. Yeah. But when you come back in my home, if I want some water, I open the water. I would like to cook. I use maybe 2 minutes, and after that, I finish my day. But in expedition, it took maybe 4 or 5 hours because sometimes you have to walk 1,000 meters to down and climb again just to catch 2 liters of water and something like that. And when I come back, and all the time, I'm, wow, what is the life? I don't like my life. But after 1 or 2 weeks, yes, I'm like everybody. Mm-hmm. But the first 2 weeks are all the time very, very difficult.
Yeah, I don't like coming back.
It's
find
difficult.
it really hard. Okay, another impossible one, but see if something pops into your head. Scariest flight you've ever had? Maybe something that still sticks with you.
I have some different one. The first one maybe was in Pakistan, my first time in Pakistan, because I was struck by a thunderstorm. It was snowing a lot, and I fight maybe 30 minutes in the cloud. And it was my first experience with a thunderstorm, and I don't know how to react. And like everybody, when you are like that, you are stuck. You want to do 360, turn a lot, but it's not the solution. And you fight like that half hour, and after half hour, okay, it's finished. I stay like that, I will be dead. What I can do? And I remember just a sentence is, if you climb somewhere, just go outside. At this moment, I accept to be in the cloud, and I climb, I don't know how long was it, but maybe 200 or 300 meters in the cloud, and I go in front, and after it's possible to down. But when you fight half hour, it's totally crazy. You are sure you will be dead, and crying, and okay, it's finished. This was my first experience of a bad first experience.
Yeah, it's no fun being in a big cloud. Others?
I have a lot. Another one. Sometime, I remember one time in Pakistan, I have a very strong wind. Like, I don't know, I was maybe 20 or 30 kilometers in
Going backwards.
Yes. You don't know how it's possible to land when it's like that.
Yeah.
So, it's a long time because you see your shadow.
A gust front or just wind? Was it like a gust front? You know, a thunderstorm that had dropped?
No. It's just a wind. It's just wind. Okay. So you can't escape or wait. You can do nothing. It's just down. No choice. But because I had two experiences like that, not only in Pakistan, but different place. But at each time on the ground, it's less strong, and it works. It was not maybe 10 or you fall a bit, but it's not very, very dangerous for me.
You mentioned the X-Alps. What have you done that has exposed you to the most risk? I mean, what of all the trips, the X-Alps, the Pakistan, the mountaineering, all the things that you've done, when has there been a moment that you've been really close to, I'm probably not going to make it out of this one?
It's difficult to tell because I was afraid many times, and in X-Alps it's too much because when I do one expedition, normally it's one time or two times you are afraid, but during the X-Alps it's maybe every day, one time one time per day. So it's because it's all the time the same. If you cross the road one time, you have no risk. If you cross the road, the same road 1,000 times, you can have an accident.
Sure.
And for me, for the X-Alps, you can take one risk every day is too much.
Yeah.
And you don't choose your risk because in expedition, you have the choice. In X-Alps, if you want to win or to be in the first, you have to take a risk. And I don't like this philosophy.
That's interesting. I mean, I don't have nearly the expedition experience you do, but I felt the same with the Alaska expedition. The mountains are so big and we knew so little. We had no knowledge and the weather was useless because the mountains created their own. The forecasts were completely useless, but because you're doing it on your own terms, I never felt, the biggest risk would be a bear or something. It wasn't the flying. It wasn't the,
for me, same. It's not, when I flew, for example, 2 years ago, I was in Pakistan. I start from the city, Unza. I flew on Jiran and I land at maybe 6,500 or 400. And just I would like to climb fast on the summit. I down, but I have some problem and I lose time and I have to sleep in the mountain. And in the mountain, I was not totally prepared for that. I was prepared for top to bottom in one day, but not to stay 2 or 3 nights in the mountain. And I have edema with I can breathe and I begin with that. And in the morning, it was not possible to take off because it was windy. I have to down by foot. We have a lot of crevasse, and I fall in a crevasse. And I spend 1 hour.
You're by yourself?
Yes, I was alone. And
is this when you had the bad ankle? You hurt your ankle?
no, it's not.
That's a different one.
Yes, it's a different one.
Okay.
And I have to fight for the life all the day, and I was like, I managed to escape. But when I arrived on the ground, I tell it's my last time in the mountains because I was sure I'm dead. I think at this expedition, I was very, very lucky. Because I fall in the crevasse, I fight 1 hour, and at one moment I fight and I don't arrive. So I stop, I wait to be dead.
Wow.
But in fact, it's long. You wait, and okay. And when you wait, you recover your a bit of energy, and you fight again and again, and you stop, and it's finished. And
did you know you had edema? Did you know had you had that before?
Yes, I have a lot. It's my first with breast. I have some 2 edema of head edema.
You had the cerebral.
Yes, but yes, it's not comfortable because you have blood in your mouth, and no, it's not comfortable.
To say the least.
It's most on the ground and not in the flights.
Yeah.
At each time, but this one it was too much for me. This expedition.
The hazards have been worse on the ground, is what you're saying,
yes,
than they've been in the air. Oh, really interesting.
And another one, it was in Ethiopia. I stayed 24 hours with some local people with gun and everything. They want to kill me because they think they was in the war. And at this expedition, I was in tandem with my girlfriend, and we land in nowhere, and people don't have connection or something like that, and immediately they shoot us on the glider, and we spend 4 hours with arm in the sky like that, and we wait, and they wait for the army, but they don't have roads, they have nothing, so the army need 24 hours to come.
Oh my
and
God.
We were in a prison for 24 hours, and they don't know if they have to kill us and everything because we arrived from the sky with a paraglide, but they think we are parachute. And we have a lot of electronic. My girlfriend,
they thought you were spies or something.
Yes, and they are sure we are spies. So we have a lot of stress, but same, it's not in the sky.
Right.
It's on the ground.
I followed that one in Eritrea. That didn't look like a lot of fun. That one looked hard. Not a lot of good flying, but have you ever had an experience flying that are you familiar with the term fear injury?
What?
It's fear injury. It's like
fear.
It's like a brain injury from fear. You get so scared that there's quite a bit of science now about this. So when you crashed in the 2017 and you hurt your leg and you have to be in a hospital bed or whatever, you couldn't walk for a month, you were saying, and then, there's the recovery, and then it's the physical recovery, but from your brain. You ever had anything like that where?
For me, not. Okay. But like for my friend, now when I go to fly with a friend or with my girlfriend or with somebody, I have a lot of stress.
Really?
Yes. It's difficult for me to fly with only one friend.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think it will be for a long time because already 3 years. And I don't know where, because I was sure I have idea to come here this year because I think it's 3 years after the accident. So now I recover everything. Okay, I can, but in fact, it's not possible. 6 months ago, I no, I will go alone for sure. So it's not for me, it's for the people with me.
Antoine, have you found your approach or maybe willingness to accept risk, has it changed in the last 10 years? Do you find age maybe changing things, or life, or I don't know, relationships?
Yes, a bit. At the beginning, my first 3 years of paragliding, I take a lot of risk because I don't have a lot of information, things like that, and I take some risk. And after that, I understand I'm lucky at this moment. And now I think I don't take a lot of risk. A lot of people think you take a lot of risk, but when I have, when I check all the years, when I was a beginner, I take a lot of risk. If I compare now, it's just I have a lot of experience of a lot of things, and I know what I do. And me, I have like a buffer between the level or stress and the accident. And when I go in the buffer, I have a lot of stress and I have a reflection how it's possible to stop that. For example, if I fly, if I have a collapse, it's not like nothing for me. Okay, I have a collapse. Why? I have a bad control. I am going the lee side, or why I have a collapse. If I don't understand why I have a collapse, I will worse and search what is it? Why I have that to find a solution. It's not like, okay, I have a collapse. Oh, I think about, it's a bird or something like that. No. For me, my buffer is big and I would like to understand everything to go at the next level or next step. It's not, for example, I never use my rescue. I will use one day, of course. But for me to use a rescue is not like nothing. It's very, wow, if I don't have a rescue, I'm dead and maybe the rescue doesn't work. So if I use the rescue, I'm very lucky to stay alive. It's my philosophy. But if I have to use, I will use 100% sure.
Sure. I think that it's important that what you're saying about, if I'm reading that right, is you're not going into a place so low, so deep, so nasty that your only way out is with the reserve.
For me, it's impossible.
You've gone way too far. You're not going to do that. This is just in case of emergency, but you're not using that as a last resort.
For me, I have a philosophy still. If I don't have 2 or 3 solutions, I don't go.
Okay. I like that.
The minimum is 2. When I take a risk, if it's when I have only 2 solutions to escape. For me, for example, to do some cross country and use the rescue, if you have only 1 rescue, it's not a solution. But you can be dead. If you have 2 rescue, okay. Maybe it's less dangerous because if the first one doesn't work, you have a second one, you have 2 possibilities to escape. The same escape, but you have 2 possibilities. If you have only 1, I don't do that.
Interesting.
For everything.
For everything. So you have when you get scared, do you have a way to relax? What do you do when you get scared?
No, when I'm scared, I'm focused of why, how to escape and everything. I think I'm all the time stressed, all the time. It's not possible to be comfortable. And I think if you don't have stress, you are dead because you can have an accident very fast and everything. But my level of stress can be very, very high. So I'm not, how to tell, after the stress, like in, what is the word? After the stress, it's, panic.
Yeah.
Because if you are in panic, you can be dead also because you have a bad react and everything. And reacting. I'm lucky, because I can have a lot of stress before to be in panic. And, me, when I'm in stress, my brain go very fast and works well. And I'm very lucky with that because, I have not all the time, but a lot of time, a good reaction.
There are people who, when the stress increases, and this is unusual, but something that I don't know that it can be trained necessarily, but your heart rate goes down. You get so into finding the escape, finding a solution. Do you know? Have you ever used a heart rate monitor? When I get really scared, I actually get really calm. I kind of go the other way. Again, I don't think it's something that you train. It's just, that's my natural response, which is great because I can think.
Yes.
I don't panic.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you know what that, is that what happens to you?
I don't know because it's difficult to know what's happened exactly. Just I know I have good react because after the accident or the problem, what I can do better.
Yeah.
And I tell, no, I did the good decision and the good reacts, but I don't know why I do that. It's just natural. It's why I tell I'm lucky because my body or my brain have a good react. It's not me who works on this. It's just, I don't know why.
Is the accident you had in the X-Alps the only accident you've had? When you hurt your leg? Have you had other accidents?
No.
Really?
No, I don't have a lot of accident. I have a lot of collapse during the X-Alps until now I don't want to go. I don't had a bad landing or something like that. During my expedition a lot, but not on the X-Alps. I'm afraid a lot of time with the wind, but it's all.
Right. Antoine, I wish you the best of luck on this trip. Let you get to sleep here because I know you guys are getting started early. You've got a lot of people watching you and paying attention, and it's a real treat to have you here with us at the house. And good luck, man.
Thank you.
It's a great line. It's a cool line, and I'm sure you'll pull it off.
Thank you.
Have fun. If you find the Cloud-Based Mayhem valuable, you can support it in a lot of different ways. You can give us a rating on iTunes or Stitcher, or however you get your podcast. That goes a long ways and helps spread the word. You can blog about it on your own website or share it on social media. You can talk about it on the way up to launch with your pilot friends. I know a lot of interesting conversations have happened that way. And of course, you can support us financially. This show does take a lot of time, a lot of editing, a lot of storage and music and all kinds of behind the scenes cost. So if you can support us financially, all we've ever asked for is $1 a show. And you can do that through a one-time donation through PayPal, or you can set up a subscription service that charges you for each show that comes out. We put a new show out every 2 weeks. So for example, if you did $1 a show and every 2 weeks, it'd be about $25 a year. So way cheaper than a magazine subscription, and it makes all of this possible. I do not want to fund this show with advertising or sponsors. We get asked about that pretty frequently, but for a whole bunch of different reasons, which I've said many times on the show, I don't want to do that. I don't like having that stuff at the front of the show. And I also want you to know that these are authentic conversations with real people, and these are just our opinions, but our opinions are not being skewed by sponsors or advertising dollars. I think that's a pretty toxic business model. So I hope you dig that. You can support us. If you go to cloudbasedmayhem.com, you can find the places to support. You can do it through patreon.com/cloudbasedmayhem. If you want a recurring subscription, you can also do that directly through the website. We've tried to make it really easy, and that will give you access to all the bonus material, little video casts that we do and extra little nuggets that we find in conversations that don't make it into the main show, but we feel like you should hear. We don't put any of that behind a paywall. If you can't afford to support us, then just let me know and I'll set you up with an account. Of course, that'll be lifetime, and hopefully you're being in a position someday to be able to support us. But you'll find all that on the website. All of you who have supported us or even joined our newsletter or bought Cloud-Based Mayhem merchandise, t-shirts or hats or anything, you should be all set up. You should have an account and you should be able to access all that bonus material now. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your support, and we'll see you on the next show. Thank you.